You stand up for your rights, they'll call you a fool. If you don't go to war, you're not living by the golden rule.
One day, I was visiting with Princess Zelda at the castle when she got word from her father that a war had started in one of our allied lands. The king decided to send in some of his knights, and one of the legions he was sending was Link's. My face turned white as a sheet. I knew that affairs like these could keep the men away for months. Since he was the captain of his legion, he had to go. When Princess Zelda saw how upset I was, she tried to comfort me, but I couldn't help thinking that Link might miss the birth of our first child. When I explained my concerns to her, she told me that in the event if I was to give birth before Link was to return home, her father would have him brought home. After she told me that, I started to feel a little better. But it was the separation that was bothering me. I knew that spending such a great amount of time apart would be hard. I didn't want to get lonely. We have been together for 5 months and married for 2, and never spent much of that time apart. Would this long separation period stress me out? I thought to myself. When I got home, I was mopey. I knew Link would have to leave soon, and then I was going to miss him. I wished that he did not have to leave. When he came home, he delivered the bad news. He told me that he was going to have to leave in the morning. As I looked into his eyes, tears began to stream down my face. I did not know how I was going to cope with the separation. I went into his arms and cried into his chest. Link gently rocked me in his arms as I cried. He told me that he would be home as soon as the war was over. He also said that he would write as often as possible. Though the one thing that sacred me was that something would happen to him and he would not return home to me. I expressed my concerns to him. I do not want our baby to grow up without a father, I said, choking in between tears.
Do you remember the stories of my battle with Gaynor?
Link asked. I nodded yes.
I survived that. I'm standing here as living proof. And a war cannot be worse than battling the king of evil himself. I'm a survivor. I will survive.
I'm a survivor. I will survive.
With those words, I looked deeply into his eyes and saw the determination in them.
Jenna, my love, I will return to you. Love will guide me back,
he said as his eyes flickered with love, and I knew then he meant what he said. He took his hand and brushed away my tears. Then he bent his head down and kissed me. A mix of emotions raced through my mind, some sad, some happy, and some with fear. I felt like the world was crashing down on me. Like all of the bad things were happening at once. Though as I looked into his eyes, I could tell that within my own heart, love will bring him back to me. Just then Navi came flying out of the room and saw that I was crying. She flew over to me, concerned.
Jen, Link, where's Lily and Aryuok?
I looked at the blue fairy, and tears began to stream down my face again. A war has started in one of our allied lands, and the king has decided to send in knights. Link's legion is one of them. I began to choke on my tears as I held Link tightly.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry that is bad news, but you remember Ganondorf, right?
Yes, we discussed it last night in great detail. There's no need for your clunky exposition.
I nodded yes.
Well, he put Link through a lot worse than this, and he's still here. He loves you, and he will come back to us. He is going to be a father, and that will not keep him away for long.
Navi flew in front of me, and her blue aura grew brighter. Her aura was always calming. I looked into Link's eyes. His eyes were as beautiful and as sexy as ever. Still, like deep blue pools of water. I just laid against his chest and enjoyed what time we had left. I did not know how long it was going to be before I was going to see him again. I thought to myself, he loves me. Love will guide him back home to me. And that is all I needed to remember. Embed P-Brush.
We're all caught up together.
If you enjoyed this exhibit, please watch more of them. Apparently that's a bigger help on the algorithm than liking, commenting, or subscribing are. Please also consider checking out my Twitter, my Instagram pages, as well as buying one or both of my ebooks. And if you really enjoyed this video and you want to support the Mutant Museum, please consider becoming a Patreon supporter like all these cool people, particularly Break System BSE, Michael Fattori, and Zachary Snowden-Smith. You'll be able to see your own name up here on the very next video for as little as $1 a month. Or if monthly support's too big of a commitment, I am also on Ko-fi if you want to just throw me a few dollars now and then. There's links to all these in the description, and thanks for being you.